All right, looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session, meditation versus mindfulness. Oh, looks like we've got a match. Now, it's no competition. If these things can definitely work hand in hand. You'll all have to bear with me. I'm recovering from COVID, so hopefully my voice is gonna hold strong all the way through. Feeling all right, just still have to work through the throat stuff a little bit. If everyone wants to say hi, I'll punch my name in. Oh, look, yes, it's really nice when people say hi. Some engagement makes me feel like I'm not just talking to a computer screen. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It feels like morning. It's cloudy here today. Oh, look at all those lovely people saying hello. All right, looks like we've got quite a few people here now, so I'm just going to dive in a little bit. I would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands upon which we each stand today in all these different places. I'm personally paying my respect to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation here in Melbourne, like Rachel. And I would like to pay my respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging. I would also like to extend my respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. All right, Helen is looking forward to the session, knows about mindfulness and nothing about meditation. All right, well, there's definitely a lot of crossover, and we're going to try and kind of clear that up today. Feel free to post questions in the chat as we go. I love a little engagement. I obviously can't get to everything exactly in the moment, but it is nice to kind of bounce back and forth a little bit and to know what people are getting. Or also, I really want to know if anything is confusing so that I can make sure to clarify. Everyone gets the most out of it. I'm one of the psychotherapists here at Uprise, and so reach out if you'd like to do a coaching session or a therapy session. We would love to support you in any way you can, and if you're curious about any of the ideas that are being spoken about today, then I'm of course happy to take that further. All right, the mind-body experience. So I have been using this slide with a different image in a few of the webinars recently because I think this is very important. This is at the basis of all of this, what we're talking about today. Physical sensation is tied to state of mind. There is no separating the mind-body experience. Stress, sadness, anger, even also all different types of positive emotions and other things can all manifest in the body. Tension, muscle aches, tightness, headaches, heartburn. All these things can be manifestations of our emotional experience. For me, this little phrase right here is one of the most important things I will ever share. When we look at this here, we see the endocrine system, we see the musculoskeletal system, we see the digestive system. All of these systems are shown here separate from each other, but they're inseparable. They're all laid over top of each other in a way that they're all one. If our nervous system is feeling overworked, then that's going to have an effect on our digestive system. It's going to have an effect. It's going to build tension in our muscles. It might have an effect on our circulation. I mean, it does, right? So we know that blood vessels can constrict and contract, and we know that, the heart rate starts going and blood pumps faster. All these things happen, right? It's all connected. It's all one. So all these things that we're talking about here today and ongoingly in the meditation series, this is the basis of all of it, and we're going to get a little deeper into that. So, meditation for a start. Guessing we probably have a few meditators here today. I don't know if anybody wants to pop into the chat what their favorite style of meditation is or anything like that. Meditation is a formal practice. So what we mean by that is We are sitting down with a clear intention about the type of practice that we are about to get into. We know that we're going to be doing this, let's say, for often a certain amount of time, whether that's 10 minutes or 1 hour or whatever it is. Um, we have a clear intention stepping into it. Often these meditations are seated, but that's not a guarantee. And there's usually a single point of focus. So we're going to get into what all those different points of focus are, but we're going to call that an anchor. So this way, as thoughts are coming and going, when we're doing this exercise, when we're doing a meditation, we're always going back to the anchor, whether that's in the breath, whether that's in the body, whether that's in the environment, a mandala, a mantra, whatever that is, there's always some kind of an anchor, something that we're reminding ourselves to come back to. This doesn't mean that we are fully latched onto that anchor at all times. I think, some people come into meditation thinking that you have to just immediately be able to, you know, follow that anchor, have no thoughts whatsoever, and that means that you're meditating. And if that's not possible, then, well, I guess I'm not good at this. And that's just not the case. Everybody who meditates, even, monks who have spent many, many, many years practicing meditation, that word practice is the most important part. It's a practice. We get better at it over time. And ongoingly, the purpose and the intention is to remind ourselves to come back to the anchor. That doesn't mean our mind won't wander. So, I guess we're really clear here that a meditation is a formal practice, and sometimes that is based in a certain religion, but it doesn't have to be. We're really clear about what that practice is. We sit down with this really specific intention, and we try our best to stick with that point of focus. So, we have breath awareness, loving kindness, which is, compassion based, mantra meditation, visualization, an embodied meditation. So, something like a body scan or five senses, these can be embodied meditations, but it's basically any style of meditation where we're paying attention to the body. We can have a moving or a walking meditation. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of Osho, but Osho definitely, is famous for a lot of things, and there's some controversy surrounding him, but he did develop a lot of very interesting moving and dancing meditations that have been hugely popular and hugely useful for people. So some of the benefits here: concentration, we're practicing the ability to take control of our mind. We're not expected to immediately have control over our mind, but the idea is we notice the thoughts coming and going. And instead of jumping to try to reject those thoughts and push them away or to latch onto them, the point is guiding ourselves back towards the anchor. So by guiding ourselves back towards the anchor, we're teaching our mind to kind of follow our direction. Go where I want you to go, go where we want to get to the place where we have control over it rather than it has control over us. So, that's kind of where we're learning concentration, awareness, as well as metacognition. So this is like seeing the bigger picture. Mindfulness helps us to not get so caught up in these little spirals of thought. So because it's helping us to not get caught up in these little spirals of thought, it is helping us to be able to be more expansive, to become more aware of, what people are facing in their shoes, the other side of pictures, stress relief. So we talked about the nervous system at the beginning of this, and we talked about how all these systems are laying over top of each other. So when we're thinking about the past or future, which is generally what stress is, I'm worried about something that I have to do. I am regretting something that I did do or didn't do. that's how stress starts to build up in the body. And so, through this kind of process of connecting with the present moment, is how we're de stressing the body. I call it almost like a nap for the nervous system. How can we connect more deeply with the present through this process of meditation and give ourselves that space for that moment where we're not worried about the future or the past? Capacity for compassion. So, through this process of meditating more and more often, settling into ourselves and being able to see the bigger picture, calming our nervous system, we are able to be more present with other people. Of course, we have specific compassion based meditations like loving kindness, but it doesn't necessarily require this, because what's going on here is, first of all, when our nervous system is activated and when we're experiencing a fear response in the body, which is a fear response and a stress response are basically the same thing. When we're experiencing that response in our body, one of the things that gets shut down is our ability to empathize, our ability to connect with other people and to stand in their shoes, like I said before. So that aspect of calming the nervous system, it already enables us to connect more deeply with other people and to experience those levels of compassion. This expands resilience and, of course, helps with relaxation. So all of these things, can also be said about mindfulness, a lot of these benefits. So we're asking ourselves the big question here is, what's the difference? Does anybody have anything to say or any questions about, anything I've talked about so far? Am I moving too fast, or are we all good here? All right. So mindfulness. Mindfulness can be practiced by anyone, anytime, anywhere. So this doesn't require a specific practice. It doesn't require a specific amount of time. It doesn't require you to set an intention or anything like that. Mindfulness starts with noticing the world around you, connecting to the present moment, being more here. We are paying attention to small things, noticing. In this moment right now, if we were to connect with our sensory experience, maybe just notice for yourself, what are two things that you can hear? But really listen. What's that moment when you're able to lose yourself in the music, for example? Can we access that same thing just anytime, any day, hearing the hum of a refrigerator or a bird or a car outside? Just really, truly listening in this moment. Connecting with our bodily experience. Maybe if everyone can just take a moment right now, just notice your shoulders. Really notice your shoulders. There might be some other thoughts and feelings. That's okay. Just let them go. But guide your attention into your shoulders and see, can you notice any tension there? And just let it go. Is it possible to let the shoulders sink a little deeper? Tightness in the chest, a knot in the stomach. Letting the legs be heavy, just noticing if they're in a comfortable position, sticking the feet out in front. Even our faces, can you just let your face hang heavy? Let go of your forehead, your jaw, that natural Botox. Just relax. And you won't need that Botox, right? So, yeah, can we feel how much of a difference that makes? It is natural Botox, right? This face, that's stress face. Like these lines that we have here, those are from, walking around all day being like, "Arr." And so is it possible for us to just notice our face throughout the day? Just let it go. That's mindfulness. That's being mindful. That's taking this moment to connect with your body, connect with the present, can also be connecting with thoughts and feelings and emotions, right? So there's the difference between having thoughts and latching onto them and getting completely caught up in these spirals. Like, I've been thinking about the same thing since yesterday and I just can't figure it out. Well, maybe if we're not getting anywhere with something, then sometimes it's good to try and send the mind in another direction. And sometimes that can be acknowledging thoughts, noticing that they're there. But there's a difference between acknowledging them and latching onto them. There's also a difference between acknowledging them and rejecting them. Sometimes when we want to push thoughts away because we feel like we're kind of in a negative spiral, we actually give them more power by getting into that, oh, why can't I stop thinking about this and what's wrong with me? And, just piling guilt and shame on top. It's not going to change anything, right? Paying attention to behaviors, movements. Like, we can be mindful while walking, we can be mindful while washing the dishes. I mean, feeling the hot water on your hands, noticing as you wipe the dish and the dirt wipes away, just really being here in this moment. Hanging out with our kids. I mean, kids are other people's kids. Kids are the ultimate reminder to be in the present. They're really living in this reality. They might not seem very mindful, but they are present. And when we are more mindful about dropping in with them and getting pulled into the present moment by them and their experience, that actually can be really mindful, right? That can be a moment where we let go of the stressors of work and we let go of all these things that we think are more important, and we actually just like give our nervous systems a break, and they teach us how to connect with the present. um so yeah, are we kind of getting there with mindfulness? Mindfulness is something that we can use during meditation. Like, when we're meditating, we're definitely being mindful, but mindfulness isn't necessarily meditation. So I'm just going to say that one more time. When we're meditating, we are definitely being mindful. And we're using all these tools that we learn through these types of practices, through learning mindfulness. We use them when we do a meditation. It might not necessarily feel accessible to immediately just go and drop into a meditation, go to a meditation class where it's going to be like, an hour of talking and meditation. That might be too much. But taking time to learn how to be mindful might get us ready for that. If we don't have 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever it is to set aside in our day, and maybe we don't have the attention span for that, whatever it is, we can still be mindful throughout our day. We can live a more present and embodied lifestyle. When you are going for a walk, when you are going for a run, when you're going to the gym, when you're doing your African dance class, whatever it is that you do to resource yourself, ask yourself, am I really utilizing this resource for everything that it's worth? Or am I still here caught up in all the stress of my day and my work and all that stuff? And I'm going to get home and not even remember that I actually did that. How can we be more present doing these everyday things? How can we be more mindful? When I'm going for that walk, am I noticing the changing of the seasons? Am I listening to the birds, to the cars, the people, the babies crying, whatever it is? Am I here? So when you ask yourself that question, you're already being more mindful. You're already sending yourself more deeply into the here and now. So it's completely natural for the mind to wander. Mindfulness is bringing attention back to the present. It's always going to happen. Your mind's always going to wander away. There's always going to be thoughts and feelings and distractions. It's completely natural. So don't put that extra pressure on yourself. Just allow that to happen, but continue to bring yourself back to the anchor, whatever that is. Even when you're being mindful, you're still, there's a lot of anchors around. Some people during an anxiety attack do like, all right, I'm gonna count 4 things that I can hear, 3 things that I can smell, 2 things that I can see. That sounds so basic, but just through really bringing ourselves into the material world, we're giving space to our nervous system. And this isn't about avoidance. So some people could kind of take it that way. So let's say, okay, I've got a lot going on. Maybe I'm even experiencing grief and loss or something like that. Now, we kind of say, well, we need to move through those emotions. We need to not avoid them and put them under the carpet and pretend that they're not there. This is very true. But when the emotions are so strong that they've hijacked the nervous system, that can put us in a place where we're unable to um, actually move through those emotions because the nervous system is jacked so much that we can't actually sort of process anything. So through engaging in mindfulness or meditation, that helps us to move into a more resourced place where then we're able to go back and face those things and move through. Does that make sense? So, when I was doing research for this talk, I found a statistic from a Harvard study that said 49.6% of the time when people are doing something, they are not thinking about what they were presently doing. In a way, at first I was like, wow, that number sounds really high. And then after I really looked at it, I kind of felt like, well, actually, maybe that sort of sounds low also, because I sort of feel like, generally we're always distracted. These days, we can't even, watch TV without scrolling on a phone at the same time or something like that. So mindfulness is important, even if we're engaging in meditation already and we're setting aside some time and we have our 10-minute meditation that we do each day, continuing to bring more mindfulness into our lives and to ask ourselves, am I here? Am I in the now? Am I showing up in this moment? Am I showing up for my kids? Am I present when these things are happening, and not beating ourselves up over it? That's not that just makes it worse, right? Well, all we're doing is trying to have that reminder in the back of the mind. And for some people that might mean setting an alarm in the phone that goes off a few times a day and says, hi, are you here? Or check in with your body, whatever that is. That helps us to kind of land more into the present. I think it's very worthwhile. So that's kind of the talk for today. I'm going to offer a short meditation for all of us to ground into the present. Is there any kind of questions before that? I usually find once the meditation's done, then it's less likely for questions to come through. All right, sounds like everybody's good. So, these are some of the rules here. Not the rules, the guiding principles. Allow yourself to slow down. It's okay. You're allowed. You're allowed to take that time for yourself. And you're going to be more efficient and more effective in the things that you do when you continue. Attend to your breath. Attend to your senses. Allow those thoughts to come and go. It's okay. You're not expected to not think. We're just trying to not latch on to those thoughts. So, we're going to settle in like we did before. Just allow the shoulders to sink. Let gravity take over. Let yourself be heavy. It's okay. And continuing to focus on the shoulders, just noticing them rise and fall with each breath. Rising and falling. And then allow that attention in your shoulders to just roll down into your hands. Really focus on your hands. Is it possible to imagine your hands are like light bulbs and your attention is like electricity? The more you focus on your hands, the brighter they glow. There might be thoughts and feelings coming and going. That's okay. Just let them be and guide your attention where you want it to go. Guide it back into the body. Allow that electricity to flow up your wrists, your forearms, up your elbows, and your shoulders. Just noticing if the shoulders are tensed up again, how quickly that happens. Just letting them fall down and back. Following your attention up the spine, into your scalp. Let's imagine all your scalp muscles relaxing. Your forehead, behind your eyes, around your ears and your temples, your jaw, even your tongue and your throat. Settling into the body. Just imagine you can notice all of the edges of your body. Everywhere where you end and the world begins. And then see if you can imagine yourself from the outside. Allow your awareness to just extend beyond yourself. With your eyes closed, picturing where you're seated, picturing your surroundings. Just gaining a different perspective. And again, thoughts are coming and going, just letting them be. Keep coming back to my voice, back to the meditation. And landing back behind the eyes. We've connected with the body. We've expanded our awareness. Just linking into the present through the senses, listening. Start to come into the here and now through listening, picking up all the little sounds. Just hearing them, not associating them with good or bad. Just listening. And then we open the eyes, taking the space where we're seated, taking it in like we're here for the first time. Can you be truly here in this moment? Seeing the colors, the textures, and the abstract qualities around you. While still listening, while still attending to your body, you feel more grounded and present as you step into the rest of your day. So that exercise is a bit of a combination of using different anchors from the body to the breath to the surroundings to sort of be able to point out these different styles. I often use that a lot in sessions as a bit of a wind down. Kind of helps also people to, figure out what works. What parts of that did you connect with? What parts really made you land in the present? So that is our talk for today. I hope everyone had learned something and had a lovely little relaxing meditation. You can find more on Up Mindfulness in the Uprise app. And coaching is a free resource. Reach out to us. Feel free to post any questions, and please do give some feedback at the link that is now in the chat. So tap the link before we all disappear from here. And yes, thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. And yeah, just appreciate you all. We're here for you, Rachel, in any way that we can be. So glad to know that this was a use to you today. And I just hope everyone has a lovely day after this. Take care.